from the German Wars of Unification, instead be focusing on the first Red Scare from 1919 to 1920. In April 1919, 36 bombs were sent to government officials and industrialists, such as John D. Rockefeller and P.J. Morgan. The bombs were meant to arrive on May Day, which is International Workers' Day. Only 2 bombs were successfully sent to the mayor, one to the mayor in Seattle, Ole Hanson, and to Georgia Senator Thomas W. Hardwick. Only 2 of the bombs detonated, one of which blew off the hands of a maid and injured Thomas's wife. The other was opened on the wrong side, so it did not detonate due to the bomb's construction. The bomb fell out and was reported to the police. A New York post office caught 36 of the bombs before they were sent. Later in June, 8 bombs were detonated at the same time in 8 cities across the United States. These were sent to 2 judges, the mayor of Cleveland, the immigration chief, and the attorney general. None of the targets were killed, but a night watcher in New York was killed, and the former editor of the I'm gonna horribly pronounce this because I do not speak Italian, Cronaca Cerveza, outside the attorney general Palmer's home. His home was almost completely destroyed. This was the second time he was targeted by anarchist bombings. You know what I mean. In response, Palmer started a campaign against radical labor parties, like the Communist Party and others. He started with what was called Palmer's Raids. Police across the country would raid suspected radicals' homes and raid their gatherings at labor union gatherings, etc., etc. I do have to note that some of these raids were illegal and had no warrant, which is what makes the first Red Scare, so controversial. Later, 2 Italians, Nicol Sacco and Barmento Vanzetti, were arrested for robbery and murder and were found guilty. This led to many socialists and anarchists protesting the verdict, as they thought they were found guilty only because of their political views. And later, a different, mob crime organization did confess to the crime. So more raids happened because of the protesting, yay. So the police continued to arrest commies. Palmer had also had many immigrants deported as they were suspected to be communists. Some states even banned red flags being thrown, as that was a sign of communism, which is pretty obvious. J. Edgar Hoover led a group to find evidence to convict suspected radicals. Now you might wonder, how popular was this communist thing in the 20s in America? Well, not very. Both Republicans and Democrats disliked the radical labor parties. The Democrats less so than the Republicans, but both condemned the radicals, both seeing them as a threat to American society and values. For example, the Communist Party only had that's way too much for communists, 38,669 votes in the 1924 election, which was about 0.13% of their overall vote. In 1920 was about the same with 48,551 votes, which again was 0.13% of the vote. The Socialist Party did a little better under Debs, though, the leader of the Socialist Party, obviously. Why would I mention him if he wasn't? In the election of 1920, the Socialists had 913,693 votes. Now that's a lot of socialists. That's also the highest for a socialist candidate. But the Red Scare in the 20s started the U.S.'s long hatred of all forms of communism, even to this day, although it seems like it has gone down a little. We even had a second Red Scare, which was probably more famous, that took place during the Cold War, and many anti-communist movies were made, starring John Wayne, the best actor. Also, there was the whole thing about suspected communists in Hollywood getting their recognition wiped off movies and etc., but, well, they're commies. So, the Red Scare was a response. So, all in all, the Red Scare was a response to the anarchist bombings in 1919, and also to get rid of some suspected commies, and anarchists. Gotta get rid of commies. It's like the most American thing you can do. Get rid of commies. So, yeah, that'll be it for the Red Scare. Probably not going to return to the second Red Scare. But the next video should be on the Prussian conquest of Schleswig-Holstein and the German Revolution / Civil War right after World War I. Pretty much 1919 to 1920 for Germany, and see how they're doing. Answer is not very good, but that'll be it for Kaiser's History. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and auf Wiedersehen.